Thank you, Justice Blacklock. Appreciate your prayer. One of our great sponsors is the Sumners Foundation, and we are proud to have many of their scholars from across the state with us here today to learn more about public policy and how all good policy originates in the states and not from Washington, D.C. So if you would, please watch this brief video to learn more about the Sumners Foundation.
We come from different walks of life and follow different paths, pursue different professions, practice different traditions. We are different. Yet one thing unites us. We are Americans. We are the Sumners Foundation, developing a network of thought leaders around the founding ideals of self-governance by funding scholarships and investing in programs that educate and engage Americans. The Sumners Foundation, on the job since 1949.
Did you see a couple of days ago, I think it was 2 days ago, Senator Sheldon Whitehouse was on the floor of the Senate, and he was arguing against a provision, a bill that actually the Senate passed that will pull environmental, social, and governance scoring out of Department of Labor investment. So this is great because we now have bipartisan support for working to end ESG, something that we started here in this state in 2021. Now, it's funny because I met Sheldon Whitehouse for the first time last summer when I was testifying, and he was calling out the Texas Public Policy Foundation for our work, and I practically made him choke with a comment about everyone benefiting from the use of fossil fuels. I thought his head was going to explode, but just 2 days ago, and I don't even know where he's from. He's like from Delaware or Rhode Island or one of those cute states that's not even as big as a Buc-ee's. Seriously, like 4 minutes to drive through. I spend longer in a Buc-ee's, and the bathrooms are cleaner. But he actually called us out by name 2 days ago on the Senate floor. We are over the target and being incredibly effective. So, Brooke, what you worked on 20 years ago and what several people here worked on and are building, and now with the leadership of our CEO, Greg Sindelar, it is awesome because we are over target and we are taking flack and we are being extremely effective. You know, Senator Carper, during my testimony, was giving me a hard time, and he's like, Delaware is sinking. And I'm like, not fast enough. And he was talking about carbon dioxide emissions, and that's why when I started up here today, ironically from Paris, Perrier, I ingested higher concentrations of CO2 than what's in our atmosphere, and I didn't spontaneously combust. You're grateful at the front, I know. But, you know, CO2 is one of these things that's necessary for life on Earth, and I heard this one member of Congress, a Republican member of Congress, kind of look at me one time and say, and he's from Texas, Jason, we've kind of flown the flag on greenhouse gas emissions. And it was like this gut punch to me. And then I thought, there's only been one white flag that's flown in Texas, and it had a cannon on it. And it said, come and take it. And that's why we go to fight every single day. You know, my older son, we've got two boys. One's about to graduate high school. One's at Texas Tech studying energy commerce. 100th anniversary of Texas Tech just passed, or it's going on right now. But it was my boys that asked me just over 4 years ago when I started at the foundation, they said, Dad, what are you going to go do? And I said, I'm going to go work to end poverty around the world. And my son looks at me and he's like, oh, that's kind of a big deal. Can you do that? And I said, absolutely. Here in Texas, we stand over the key to ending poverty around the world. And that key is the hydrocarbons that we produce and produce more responsibly than anywhere else on the face of the earth. And in the short time that I've been here, I've discovered some numbers, and I'm kind of a data guy. In the last numbers that we have available, there were 24,000 students in the state of Texas of about 120,000 high school graduates. 24,000 of them graduated with a certificate in CNA, a certified nurse assistant. 24,000 students are prepared to make between $11 and $13 an hour. We're preparing students with our current public education system for poverty. And as someone who spent 8 years in poverty in the Texas legislature, it's not something you're really prepared for. It's very hard. That same year, 34 students graduated with a certificate to work in oil and gas. 34 students are prepared for prosperity because they'll be making between $30 and $40 an hour starting right out of high school working in the oil and gas industry. And that's why our work at the foundation is so important, that we get parental empowerment and education freedom passed this session so that we can prepare students in this state, all of them, for prosperity. Energy poverty is poverty. I'd like for you to watch this video from the Life Powered team at the Texas Public Policy Foundation.
So energy poverty, these are two words, right? To me, life in itself.
We interrupt this important lesson on raising America's energy IQ to bring you a special announcement. Life Powered is working to end poverty around the world by fighting for affordable and reliable energy. But even before becoming the director of Life Powered, Jason was a tireless advocate for policy that improved energy independence, economic prosperity, and national security. That's why he's this year's recipient of the Texas Patriots Excellence in Achievement Award. Congratulations, Jason. But he's my boss, so you think I probably have to say that. That's why we've brought in a few totally unbiased people to say a few words about Jason.
Hey Dad, I'm inspired by all your hard work to end poverty around the world. Congratulations on the award. You're my hero. I love you.
Hey Dad, congratulations. You've been an inspiration to me my entire life, and you continue to be an inspiration to me through your work at TPPF. I can't think of anyone more deserving of this award than you. Congratulations, I love you.
Jason, thank you for working so hard to end poverty around the world. If anybody knows how hard you work, it's me. And I agree with those who call you the next generation weapon against the climate cult. I am so proud of you. Congratulations. You are my most prized trophy on my trophy wall. I love you.
So please help me congratulate this year's recipient of the Texas Patriots Excellence in Achievement Award, the director of Life Powered, Jason Isaac. Congratulations, Jason.
You didn't see that coming.
I did not.
That was so much fun. Jason's up here, and he's another Life Powered video, and you watch him. He's like, wait, I haven't seen that one before. That's talking about me. So I've got to say a few words about you, so you can stand here awkwardly while we talk about you.
Okay, yeah, I'm still in shock.
So I'm so excited to announce the Texas Public Policy Foundation Patriots Excellence and Achievement Award, sponsored again this year through the generosity of Olga and San Miguel and Joe San Miguel, who've done so since 2020. And the purpose of this award is to recognize our staff, recognize the achievement of our team through just outstanding performance, and it was a natural fit for that to be Jason this year. But this also recognizes you as our supporters here who have the vision to fund our efforts to highlight what we're doing with it and the success there. And Jason, I love hearing in your remarks where you talk about telling your kids that you're going to go end poverty around the world. And I think you can see from the video, and you should know just how proud they are of you and how proud all of us are of you and the work and your team. It was several weeks ago that literally top fold Sunday print New York Times did an article about how effective TPPF's energy work is in fighting back against the climate change narrative. Now, the New York Times didn't frame it in that way. But that was the message. And it was you, and in the New York Times, the great picture, but talking about our life-powered advocacy and how we are changing the world, and we were talking about advancement of human flourishing. And the energy in our energy policy always comes from Jason Isaac and the terrific work that you do in leading our team. So in just a minute, I'm going to ask Joe and Olga to come down front so we can present the award to you. But just to introduce them, as many of us know, our friends here, Joe and Olga are two of our most committed supporters that have been supporting the foundation for over a decade. They've supported our capital campaign, are members of our Lone Star Legacy Society, saw the vision of expanding our Liberty Leadership Council for young professionals, have provided for new efforts to get veterans involved, and have been generous in providing this recognition to highlight our staff person of the year with this. So Joe and Olga, would you please come forward and help me present this? Jason, it was here all along. Wow. Come down front. Joe, would you say a few words?
Sure. About 11 years ago, See, I'm a professor. What do I know about using a microphone? 11 years ago, Olga and I returned to Texas in our San Antonio roots. One of us dates back to 1750. When we attended our first Visionaries in 2012, we were so impressed, very much impressed by the energetic and dedicated staff of the Texas Public Policy Foundation. It drew us in. And I'd like to congratulate Jason for his accomplishments and receiving the 2023 Texas Patriots Excellence in Achievement Award. I would also like to acknowledge at this time and recognize prior recipients, Rob Henneke, David Balak, is he here? And Chuck DeVore.
Chuck, stand up.
When we suggested the establishment of this award back in December 2019, we had no way of knowing how much work the leaders of TPPF would have to do to select a recipient each year. As you can see, the results of the leadership of this organization. It's been a very rewarding experience for us. And at this time, I would like to have all members of the Texas Public Policy Foundation stand to be recognized. Foundation. These are leading the charge. These individuals are leading the charge in fighting for liberty, freedom, and free enterprise in the state of Texas and in the United States of America, which we dearly love. And we look forward to seeing one of you up here receiving the award in 2024. Yeah. Thank you.
Wow. Usually I'm someone that's just pretty good at stringing a few words together, and I surround myself with really smart people. Now I'm kind of at a loss. Wow. That was, I thought there was some technical difficulty. I'm like, that's weird. What's going on with the video? Like, I want to see this. This is so good. It's so moving. And it was so good and so moving. Oh, man. I love surprises, too. I like giving them. Just last weekend, Carrie and I flew to Orlando and showed up at a restaurant with my dad, who I hadn't seen in a few years, and had coordinated it with my stepmom, and just said, she's like, do you mind if we have dinner with these folks? And he turned around, and it took about 45 minutes before he could talk. But I love doing stuff like that. It was really cool. You know, and I'm serious, you are who you surround yourself with. And I have surrounded myself with good, strong Christians, people of faith, and really, really, really smart people. And they have brought me up. And my favorite verse in the Bible is Thessalonians 5:11 from 1 Thessalonians. Therefore, encourage one another and build each other up, just as you are doing. And so every single one of you are building each other up to make Texas stronger. We're encouraging each other. So I remember the first time Mike Nassi and I met and talked about this, and I was telling this story last night, and I was leaning forward in my seat like, wait, what are you working on? This is great. I want to come do this. I want to work in this area. And then just weeks later, we were flying to Tulsa to kick things off and go have some great meetings and raise some money and continue our work. And then Brent Bennett, PhD, was on the team. I know he's around here somewhere. He started a few months before me. He holds that seniority over my head. But one of the really, truly smart people that I surround ourselves with. Then we hired Katie Tuawa, our former communications manager. And I looked over as I was talking. I'm like, oh my gosh, Katie got to make it. This is great. And her little baby, one of the two little rascals. And then Katie left and to be a great mom, and she still is a senior fellow with the Life Powered Project and does incredible writing. And then Sid, we hired Sid Lucas to be our comms manager. And we got Courtney Bagley, our education coordinator. We have Jamila Parachi, who's in the room here as a senior fellow. And just last week, we announced Carson Clayton's coming on to help direct the effort so we keep our trains on track and continue the work that we're doing, because the demand of Life Powered extends well beyond Texas. We are fighting in multiple states. I know Brent was on with people from Kansas yesterday. It's not uncommon for us to talk to people from Wyoming, Montana, Indiana, Ohio, to push our policy, to push back against woke policies, which is a good transition.